Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Give. Let me sort out my laptop. So, what I wanted to ask you, Lucy, is you saw, you saw Alicia Baumgardner versus Terry Harper. Just tell me your reaction to the fight. What did you expect versus what you saw?
Okay, I just was expecting to Terry fight in distance, and she looked like, I don't know, uh, strange. She wasn't the same Terry as always, and I was waiting to she fight in distance and win by unanimous decision because she's the favorite and all of that things. And when Alicia started to punch her with okay with really clear punches, I say, oh my god, she's not okay. And I wasn't expecting that brutal knockout because I don't know, Terry has a lot of experience, and she fought against really big women's like Katarina Thunders, Natasha Jonas. She had some finished business with Jonas, and when I saw Alicia connected her good, I said, "Oh my God, she could she could knock her out." In the fourth round, I think, I don't remember well, she did it. Alicia was with a really good timing. She was like a tiger. She was waiting for her launch
Eso es lo
because
que fue. Lo que yo vi es que la pobre Terry, ella no tenía que coger esa pelea en este
no,
momento. Eso fue demasiado. Ella tenía un año que no peleó, tenía un rompe en her right hand, and
sí,
it was a bad
dos,
idea. Se le vio temprano en el primer asalto que Alicia was connecting with jabs, and you could see that the jabs, just the jabs, was bothering Terry. So con eso se vio que ella no tenía que estar en esa pelea.
a ver, venía de romperse twice her hand por segunda vez y estuvo bastante tiempo fuera de inactividad. Alicia la verdad que mostró ser muy agresiva, ¿no? Y ese tiempo de inactividad en el que Terry Harper estuvo fuera, porque ella venía muy activa, peleando más o menos cada 4 meses, cinco, entonces venía muy bien. Y todo este tiempo de inactividad la mató. No solo que se vio chiquita, porque a ver, en el pesaje estaban muy similares de tamaño, pero Alicia, que es más petiza, en pelea parecía la peleadora más grande, cuando en realidad la más grande tenía que ser Terry.
I agree
Eso por
with
un
that.
lado.
I think that the weight cut. I
Ya.
honestly think the weight cut, it was hard for Terry. I mean, they looked okay on the scales, but in the fight, Alicia looked bigger than her. Like Alicia looked like a
Yes.
fucking like a lightweight. Terry looked like a
Yes.
featherweight, a tall featherweight, but a featherweight.
Yes. Yes. I'm completely agree with that. And when I was watching details like that, I said, "Oh my God, Alicia is the bigger woman on the ring, and this is not okay because Terry should be the bigger." So no vi una buena hidratación de parte de Terry Harper y en el primer round hubo una mano de Alicia que como que la sintió. Yo la vi muy lastimada y pensé que estaba sangrando, pero no estaba sangrando. Pero yo dije, a ver, es muy raro, o sea, Alicia no tenía knockouts sobre grandes peleadoras, ¿no? Igual Cristina Medusa salió a hablar y dijo que ella tenía una mano bastante respetable. Pero bueno, después de Terry Harper contra Natalia Jonas, que Jonas la verdad que la dejó muy mal parada y la conectó muchísimo, yo no pensé que pudiese afectarle. Y cuando la conectó de esa forma en el primer round, yo dije, si Terry sigue bajando las manos, porque perdió mucha defensa también. Her hands were like this, not like this.
Exactly.
So it was completely strange to see her fighting like that when she has a really good technique or thing like that. She hasn't defense problems or things like that. So it was strange to see her fight because she's not the same as always.
I mean, honestly, I feel, and I corresponded on social media with Ebony Bridges, and she said that it must have been an ego thing them deciding to take this fight, orgulloso, pensando que, oh, que va a ser fácil. Y de verdad, que cuando ellos anunciaron esa pelea, I said it then that it's like, yo, this is a bad idea. This is a very, very bad idea. Why would you want to take her on after a year? Pero
Yeah.
tampoco, I don't want to minimize Alicia's victory because look, they took the fight. No se puede decir excusan, no se puede decir nada. Ellos querían pelear y eso fue lo que pasó. Lo que yo pienso es de verdad, no debe haber una revancha. Deja
No,
esa niña quieta.
no, no. Pero bueno, como dice mi buen amigo Ángel David Castro, Eddie Hearn le pone cláusulas de revancha hasta la madre que lo parió. Entonces, sí, it's current in Eddie Hearn to put in a rematch clause in every fight. Today, both of his favorite, for example, boxers, lost by a brutal knockout. Kid Galahad and Terry Harper. Terry Harper is his favorite. So
I agree,
it's
pero también yo lo celebro porque eso fue una oportunidad para Alicia que en América no le estaban dando. That she wasn't going to get the opportunity. They
yeah,
said that we're going to give Alicia a Michaela Mayer fight, but they didn't give her the fight. They didn't.
yeah.
It never came through. So the reason I think it was good is because at least he doesn't protect his fighters. Él no lo protege, él lo pone con peleadores buenos y con eso se hacen estrellas nuevas en el boxeo instead of protecting fighters and putting them in fights that we all know they're going to win. He puts them in there with good fighters, and this is what happens. So I don't want to say that it's a bad thing, pero lo que yo quiero es I want him to sign her now. Sign Alicia, give her a 3-4 fight deal para que ella pueda pelear on a major platform.
Okay. Uh, I don't think nothing away from Mayer, but in my opinion, she didn't win against Meva Hamadouche. And the judges of Vegas made horrible cards, horrible punctuation, um, horrible. Okay, if an hypothetical matchup, Alicia versus Tasha, it would be a really good match. But I think Tasha can win it.
Yo voy a decir esto. Para mí, I believe Michaela Mayer won. I do believe she won. I scored the fight while I was watching it. I had it 6 rounds to 4 in favor of Michaela. I do think that they did I do think they did Maiva dirty on the cards, but
Mhm.
I do think the right woman won the fight. As far as Alicia and Michaela, it all depends on who's doing the fight. If Top Rank's doing the fight, the judges are going to favor Michaela. If
Yeah.
Matchroom's doing the fight, the judges are going to favor Alicia. That's if they sign Alicia.
Yes, but I think these both ladies are too young and are not completely mature to fight to be an undisputed champion. For example, I think, for example, Delphine Person is better than them, and I think Delphine Person should fight to be an undisputed champion. But it's something that es por una cuestión de, uy, me dejo sola. You hear? Okay. Okay, to answer the hypothetical matchup, I think Natasha is going to win against Alicia. Tasha has a lot of experience. She fought against Katie Taylor. It was a good fight. No fireworks, but it was a good fight, and I think Tasha is going to win against Alicia. I am going to read the chat, so ask in
No
the chat.
problem. No problem. Yeah, still going through technical difficulties I'm sorting out. But go ahead
Okay,
and
okay.
you can go ahead and read the super chats.
Okay, okay. Okay, if Katie looks bad on the December 12, 11th, she gets beat so sadly. I don't think Katie is going to look bad because she's uh, the top the top girl in the division. She's the best in the division. She's trying to prepare herself to fight against Amanda, and Amanda is not a joke. And I think She has to defend her the IBF title against a boxer, Kazakhstan boxer. I don't remember the number, but it's a really good match, and I think Katie is going to win because I don't know. She every performance that she do in the ring is amazing, and she's going to do it very very well on December 11th. What else? Baumgardner will stop top dog. I don't think so because it has a name. On 130 pounds is Delphine Person, who is going to, I don't know, who's going to kill everybody.
I also want to add that Katie's fighting Firuza Sharapova.
Yeah,
Firuza's a good boxer. She is like she has good fundamentals, but she's not tested. She's not tested. She hasn't. The one person that she fought that is a good fighter is Sophia
so fishy.
Ochagawa. That was years ago, but Sophia beat her. So I mean, and that was when they were both. I believe they were both debuting as professionals. So I feel like Firuza's a good boxer, but not better than Katie. She has no punch. Firuza has no power. She can move. She's agile. She's quick, but she doesn't have power. So I feel like Katie's gonna be all over her, and it's gonna look kind of like the Eva Wallstrom fight when she fought Eva Wallstrom.
Yes, Katie is going to beat her easily, but she's going to fight against an young boxer because what's the name of the opponent?
You talking about the girl that Katie's gonna fight?
Yeah,
Firuza Sharapova.
okay. I don't know how do you say it, but she's young. So in her last fight, Katie against Jennifer Han, she looked not bad, but comfortable. Okay, and Jennifer Han, it wasn't on her best shape. So this Kazakhstan boxer comes here in her best shape. She's going to try to do everything because she is going to fight against Katie Taylor, and she has to show all of the skills. And I think Katie, it's a good challenge for Katie because she's 35 years old, and we can see that she's old. She's
Yo voy a
old.
decir esto. Yo voy a decir esto porque esto es lo que yo pienso. Katie se está poniendo viejecita. Eso es la verdad. She's slowing down. Pero con la Feruza, una niña que no tiene mucha experiencia con mujeres que saben cómo pelear. Like, I've never seen Feruza in there with a puncher. Never. I've never seen her in there with somebody that can really crack and hits hard.
Mhm.
There might be a difference in speed, like maybe, I'm like I'm being very generous, but I feel like okay, maybe Feruza might be a little faster, but I don't think she can punch. That I don't think, and I don't think that she's used to somebody that has the speed that she has, or anything close to the speed that she has, or the agility that she has. I feel like Katie, in all likelihood, she wins a comfortable points decision against Feruza, though she is getting older. That's the thing. She's close to her mid 30s now, and she is slowing down. So there's that to consider. Pero para mí, the Amanda Serrano fight is a more dangerous fight than that fight. That's a more dangerous fight porque Amanda, ella tiene pegada. Yo voy a decir, yo pienso que Amanda tiene más pegada que Feruza
Okay.
Sharapova.
Yeah, okay. It's a really, si no fuera, if it's not going to be a good challenge for Katie, I don't think Eddie Hearn is going to choose it because she's going to fight Amanda next, and Amanda is not a joke. So I think this Kazakhstan boxer is more skilled than we think. If
Mm.
she, yeah, yeah, because ¿qué sentido tiene? It has no sense to fight against someone who you are going to beat easily if after that you are fighting against Amanda Serrano. It has no sense. Amanda is going to fight against Miriam Gutierrez because Miriam is big. It's completely big. So
That's true.
Katie should have fight against someone who has a good hand, a hand and a good left hand because Amanda is super.
Okay, pero también ponlo. Look at it another way. They know they want to do the Serrano fight. They know they want to do the Serrano fight next year, right? So they don't
Mhm.
want to put, to me, the way I interpret the matches, they don't want to put Katie in there with a puncher. They want to put her in there with someone who has agility and has speed and has those things. But Firuza has never been a puncher. She goes in there with stationary targets all the time, and she still wins on points, even when the girls can barely move. So what I see is it's a good fight, and Firuza is a good fighter, but it's not a dangerous fight. It's like, nah, this girl can't punch. She can move, she can box, she's a little bit quick, but she has no punch. So good fight, not a dangerous fight.
Okay, could be, could be. On December 11, we are going to see what's going to happen against these two ladies. But in my opinion, I know that people from Kazakhstan has a really good, a really good punch. So she maybe we she can't reflect that on her record, but anybody else.
Posiblemente, pero también tú sabes lo que yo veo con la Firuza,
Uh-huh.
que Firuza, ella es una estrella en su país, ¿verdad? Y a ella le
Sí.
gusta hacer mucho reality TV shows. Uh, uh, it's like, yo lo que veo es que ella como que no estaba concentrada en su boxeo. Ella estaba concentrada en otra cosa de televisión, cosa de haciendo comerciales, pero no el boxeo, porque para mí ella tiene suficiente años fought for a title at least a
Mhm.
year ago. Like she, to me, ella, she's late to the party because Natasha Jonas ya peleó por título. Terry Harper ya peleó por título. Michaela Mayer peleó por título. Pero ella, she was fighting a lot of girls over there. They don't stand a chance, these girls she's fighting. So you can't go from a girl that doesn't stand a chance to Katie Taylor. It's going to be very, very different.
Okay, I'm agree. I'm agree.
So
Yeah.
we got Jaime Munguia versus Gabriel Rosado. Tell me your prediction for the fight. ¿Quién tú piensas va a ganar y cómo?
Okay. It's completely difficult to me to say who is going to win because Jaime Munguia is too young and Gabriel Rosado is old. But Gabriel Rosado won against Melikusiev. He knocked him out in a brutal way. So Gabriel Rosado can give you a brilliant night or your horrible life in your whole life. So on a horrible night on your whole life. Sorry. So it's difficult to predict this, but I think Gabe, since he is fighting with Fredo Roach on his corner, he changed it a lot, and he is completely dangerous. So I don't know how he's going to win because this is boxing. So
Es verdad.
and yeah, and for one hand, we have Munguia, who is a star, who is trying to go for an award title, and this is a fight to show himself to the world about what he can do in the ring or not. And on the other hand, we have an Rosado who is growing so far in boxing and who can beat you and who can knock you out. So and I think Melikusiev is dangerous than Munguia. So, but Munguia is different. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who is going to win. I know that it's going to be a really good match.
Esto es lo que yo voy a decir.
Yeah.
Hay una diferencia en esas dos peleas que es muy importante. La verdad, Gabriel Rosado is old. Well, he's not super old, but he's not young. He's 35, ¿verdad? Y para mí, la pelea con el Melakuziev, eso fue en el 168, which I think is a better weight for Gabriel Rosado. This fight is at 160 pounds. This is middleweight. And I've always felt he's too big for middleweight. His frame is too big. When he cuts down to 160 pounds, it weakens him, and that might be why he gets beat up so much down there. But if you put him at 168, mira cómo se vio con Daniel Jacobs. Eso fue en el
Yeah.
168. Y mira cómo se vio con Bektamir Melakuziev, otra vez en el 168. Pero esta pelea en el 160, y este muchacho, él tiene quijada. The difference between the difference between Munguia and Beckman es la experiencia. Aunque Munguia no es perfecto, él tiene 37 peleas. Ese tipo me lo acusa, tenía 7 peleas. No tenía experiencia ese muchacho. He had a
Um,
good amateur background, pero the
mhm.
amateurs is different from the pros. And that's why he left his chin out there and he got knocked out.
Yeah, but for example, Munguia has 37 fights against who?
Exactly.
Anybody.
Exactly.
Anybody. His last fight was against Camille Seremeta. Camille Seremeta fought against Golovkin. Golovkin did what he wanted to do with Seremeta. It was Golovkin just put his face, Seremeta punched him, and then Golovkin threw him away, and then he knocked him out because he was trying to. I don't know. He was showing that fight, but Munguia couldn't knock him out easily, and
That's
Seremeta
true.
was fight against Golovkin and lost in a horrible way before fighting Munguia. And Rosado, everybody know that he has a crystal chin. Rosado has a crystal chin.
No,
Yes,
no, tú sabes
and
lo que it's not a crystal chin, it's that para mí, he gets cut easily, pero aguanta puño ese muchacho. Él aguanta puño, sí.
sí, sí, y también tiene las piernas bastante flojas. Pero Rosado tiene las piernas flojas en contra de quién? Del mejor Golovkin, del mejor Lemieux.
That's true. That's true.
Entonces, el mejor Golovkin y el mejor Lemieux le ganan a Jaime Munguia.
Te voy a
Easily.
decir, okay, esto te lo voy a decir. This is how I look at it. You're right about Golovkin, pero el Lemieux, recuerda, no te la pierda, que él perdió a Rubio. Rubio. And it's like, I could see a situation to where if Munguia and Lemieux might have met, because Lemieux always comes forward and he leaves his chin out there and he goes for those big left hooks, he's a guy that can be caught. What I see Gabe brings to this fight is his boxing. But because it's at 160 pounds and he's 35 years old, I don't think the punch resistance is going to be there. I think he's going to get stopped, and it'll probably be late. It'll probably be round 9, round 10, but I think he's going to get stopped.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think so. But okay, recapping, I think Rosado is going to beat Munguia.
You think he's El Diablo? El Diablo. El Diablo.
Yeah.
No, noche de los upsets. Mira lo que le pasó a Kid Galahad. Mira lo que le pasó a Terry Harper. Todo es posible. Everything is possible.
This is the year of the upsets.
It is. Y lo que yo veo, this is one thing that I noticed, right? Lo que le pasó a Kid Galahad in Sheffield. Kid Galahad is from Sheffield, right?
Yeah.
So I noticed that these guys, they'll have a big win and then they'll have a hometown fight. Kid Galahad just had a big win, so they gave him a big hometown fight. Jared Hurd had a nice win, they gave him a hometown fight. Julian Williams had a big win, gave him a hometown fight. What happens in the home? They get their fucking ass kicked. You know what I mean? Now, this isn't a hometown fight for Munguia. I think that's the saving grace. Munguia's from Mexico. I think this fight is in Texas. This is down there somewhere. So I just feel like Munguia, con ese japonés que se llama Takeshi Inui, he had a really good fight with that guy. Ese japonés, él es fuerte, aguanta puño y tiene puño. So para mí, esa experiencia, la experiencia con él, la experiencia con Terriano Johnson, that Munguia had in his last fight also, that they was going at it. They was really going at it. I think that he's ready for this. I think he's ready for this. Ahora, ese puertorriqueño, Berlanga, he's not ready for this. He's not ready for this.
No.
He's not ready for this.
Okay, after Marcelo Cóceres fight, Marcelo Cóceres showed to the world that Berlanga is not ready to fight a the toppest level. He's not ready to
Agreed.
do that
Agreed.
because Marcelo, era el hombre pequeño en el ring, sí, Berlanga era bastante más grande, pero se olvidaron de que la gente de Argentina, como yo, no va por el cheque. O sea, Marcelo Coceres no fue por el cheque. Hizo una muy buena pelea ante Billy Joe Sanders. He fought really, really well against a really complicated Billy Joe Sanders, and he was doing very, very well because Sanders was embarrassing the fight, and then he won because they were in a clinch, and then he punched him and threw him away. But it was a really, really good fight. And Berlanga, okay, against who he fought?
También el otro lío de Berlanga. Ese tipo, they were marketing him as a knockout artist. And there were people that got mad at me when I said this, that ese tipo no está aprendiendo nada noqueando esa gente porque
No.
the fights are only going one round. Well, what are you going to learn in a round? Against un muerto también, that you're not even really you're not knocking out good people. And I didn't expect him to be fighting good people porque, he's young, it's early in his career. I understand it. Pero lo que yo estaba diciendo es que con él noqueando a esa gente, eso no significa nada. It doesn't mean anything. A lot of guys get knockouts early in their career. It doesn't mean anything. El momento que lo ponen ahí with somebody that can move and somebody that can punch, ahí se va a ver if he's the real thing, if he's a really good fighter. Because right now I don't know. Y ahora con esa pelea con Coceres, para mí, está muy flojito. Muy flojito.
Yeah, Coceres showed the world that Berlanga is not a monster.
Yeah, él no es monstruo.
No, aparte él noqueó a peleadores con un récord muy negativo, ¿entendés? Y si vamos a una cuestión física, era puro gordito.
Sí.
Y Berlanga está muy bien trabajado físicamente, eso cambia muchísimo. In boxing, it doesn't care about your physical or something like that. But they were fat people.
Yeah, they were.
No,
They were putting them in there with guys that were out of shape, guys that didn't have good condition, guys that aren't really there for a 8-rounder or a 10-rounder. So, of course, y eso fue lo que yo estaba diciendo, que con gente así, well, of course you're going to get a knockout con gente así, pero vamos a ver con alguien que se puede mover o vamos a ver con alguien que tiene pegada, because then we'll know what you really are.
It's one of the most exciting divisions because he's in 168.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Super
middleweight.
Super middleweight has a lot of big punchers, and I think, for example, if you see a match between Berlanga and Rosado can knock him out.
Eso se ve ya. Ahora se reveló. ¿Por qué? Porque Coceres, él se estaba moviendo y que when you're moving, you're not sitting on your punches. If you're not sitting on your punches, there's not even that much on him. Pero sin embargo, he was moving, he caught him with a counter, and he dropped him. Ahí se ve que ese tipo no tiene quijada. There's no chin.
Sorry, I'm answering something in the chat. They say, is the woman from Argentina? Her accent sounds like it comes from down the South America. Yes, people, I am from Argentina. What happened with that? Sorry. I don't think Berlanga. I don't know. They made her corner, her manager, and all of the people that is talking around him. Sorry, made his record.
Yeah.
Yes, it's beautiful to have a record 18 and 0 with 18 knockouts and things like that. But when a real boxer is in front of you, that it doesn't care. It doesn't matter.
And he doesn't come. See, the thing is, he doesn't come from a deep amateur background to where he can fall back on his boxing because, Kovalev had a lot of knockouts, but he could box. He came from he had a good amateur background. Berlanga's young. He doesn't have a deep amateur background. He's knocking out all these guys in the first round. You're not learning anything from that. You're learning more from sparring. You're probably learning more from sparring than you are from fights because the people that they're putting you in there with, they're nobodies. So ya se ve que para mí, this kid probably won't be ready for a Gabriel Rosado till maybe the end of next year. And he has to fight people. He has to fight people.
Yes. Okay. Do you think Charlo will dump the 160 WBC title?
Yo me imagino que sí, porque ese tipo, él no quiere unificaciones, porque el Demetrius Andre está ahí, él está ahí, y el pobrecito, nadie quiere pelear con él. Let
He's
me
an
answer.
oracle.
I mean,
He's
he's not horrible. He's not horrible.
couple of days ago, I talked with someone from ESPN, Julius Chilanis, and he told me something that is completely true. He said anybody would like to fight against Boo because he's a horrible fighter. So if you are Golovkin or if you are Charlo and fight against Boo, they are going to say, "Hey, you fight against a horrible fighter and you won, and again a horrible fighter." So they and you should pay for everything. So I am going to pay to to someone and then let all of the people criticize myself. No, I don't think so. That's the
Exactamente.
reason.
Ellos no quieren pelear con él porque él es zurdo, porque él es alto, porque él es joven y porque él es awkward. He can make them look bad even if they win. He can make them look bad.
No, I'm not agree. I'm not agree. Bufu is a horrible fighter. He has fought with anybody. Sorry, but
We're not gonna agree on this. This is what I'll say, right? This is what I'll say. A lot of
imagine.
I think that Golovkin, listen, for what it's worth, para mí, Canelo le gana. Canelo le gana. Eso yo lo veo. He'll beat him. Canelo would beat him. Golovkin, porque está viejecito, your legs are old. He's gonna move, he's gonna stick and move. Lo que él tiene de malo is that he's often off balance. He'll try for a big shot and trip over his own feet. It's like, bro, they don't have to hit you. You're gonna knock yourself down if you're not careful. But I think he can beat Charlo. I think that he could beat Charlo.
Andrade beat Charlo.
I think so.
No. No. His last fights, it wasn't against nobody's. Um, I don't know. He just run.
Ok, te voy a decir. Ok, él no peleó con nadie su última pelea. Está bien. Even though I think Liam Williams is better than Juan Montiel. El Charlo peleó con un nadie, pero no lo podía noquear. Peleó con un junior middleweight que se llama Brandon Adams. No lo podía noquear. So, para mí, lo único que él tenía en el 154 fue poder. En el 160 no lo tiene. So he can be outboxed. I think Demetrius Andre can beat him. I'll say that. Está bien.
No lo creo. Es not just a horrible fighter. He was a puncher on 154.
Yeah.
But in middleweights, he's not attractive. And the reason that he's not attractive is he's a good fighter. He has a good technique. Ponele. But he's not a puncher on 150 and 60. Sorry. He's only fighting against anybody's, and he I don't know. I saw a video of him on one of his last fights, and it was he was running.
Es que la palabra para Jermall Charlo es ordinario. Él es ordinario. He's basic. He has a jab. No, he has a jab. You know, he has a right hand. He has a jab. But he's not a big puncher. He's not a good mover. I don't think he's a good mover. Porque el mexicano, Juan Montiel, he was hitting him with shit. He was hitting him with hard shots. And I'm like, bro, if you're as good as you think you are, or you're as good as people make you out to be, this fight should have been over by now. Juan Montiel got knocked out by the guy we're about to watch, Munguia. He knocked him out. So how are you here at 160 and you can't knock him out? What's going on? He's basic. To me, Andre is better porque él es zurdo. He leads with his jab. He leads with his right hand. He moves off to his right. He could trouble an orthodox fighter. a basic one, not a really good one, but a basic one, like Jermall Charlo.
Could be, could be.
I
So
tell you.
I would like to ask an answer in the chat of Iron Kong 26. He said, "So I want to know if he is horrible. Who are these other guys who she likes fighting?" I like Charlo's fight, the way he fight. I like Derevyanchenko. Derevyanchenko is wild. I like Golovkin. I like David Lemieux. I like Brook. Exists a lot of boxers that are better and marketingable than Dimitrios Andrade.
Bueno, para mí, ya se sabe que a ti no te gusta el Andrade. Está bien, está bien. Para mí me gusta,
Sorry.
a mí me gustan los zurdos. I love southpaws.
Okay. Yeah.
Él es zurdo, él es alto, él es joven, and I'm telling you, the reason that a lot of guys won't fight him, the real reason is Gennady, maybe he beats him, even now at 40 years old, maybe he does beat him, but he'll look bad. It won't be easy. Porque él se mueve mucho y él es zurdo. Golovkin, look, one of Golovkin's best punches is what? The jab. What does a southpaw jab do to an orthodox fighter's jab? It cancels it because you're jabbing and he's out there. His jab is going to come over the top of yours because he's taller, because he's a southpaw. So what I see is a lot of guys probably don't want him because they look at him and say, no vale la pena. Why look bad against him when I could get money with him?
Do you think that Dimitrios should fight against? He deserve fight against Canelo?
Nah.
Why?
Esto es lo que nobody deserves it. Nobody. Benavidez doesn't deserve it. Charlo doesn't deserve it. Demetrius doesn't deserve it. Better Beef doesn't deserve it. Bivol doesn't deserve it. Esta es la razón. Ellos no están haciendo lo que él está haciendo. So he has the right to choose, but they don't deserve it. Jamal doesn't deserve it. Él tiene 4 años en el middleweight division. He hasn't unified yet. Benavidez, ¿cuántas veces tú perdiste tu título? Primero fue la cocaína, la segunda vez estaba muy gordito. Esta pelea, esta noche, is not even a super middleweight contest porque él pesó 169. He's above the limit by a pound. So it's not even about whether they deserve it. It's if he feels like giving it to him, okay, porque para mí toditos son igual. Toditos, they're on the same playing field. If he picks Benavidez, está bien. If he picks Charlo, está bien. If he picks Andrade, está bien. If he decides to go up to light heavyweight, está bien, eso es más mejor porque the fights up there are better. Better Beef is more dangerous. Bivol is more dangerous. But as far as deserving the fight, I don't really think anybody deserves it.
Yeah, Canelo is the current king of boxing. No, I don't think anybody can. Canelo should move up to 175 and fight Benavidez or Bivol. Okay, I think it would be a good match against Bivol. Shout out to this cool girl, Pupu.
Pupu Andrade, Pupu.
Yeah.
That's fucked up, man. I'm probably the only Andrade fan in the whole wide world.
Yeah. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Because sorry, but he's a horrible fighter. And what else? What else? Yes, Canelo against Bivol. Yes, against people. But
esa pelea está más buena para mí que la Benavidez. To me, it's better than Benavidez. To me, it's better than Charlo. Porque lo que la gente no están viendo es que Benavidez, because he keeps making 168, I believe it's going to make him weaker over time. It's going to make him weaker. And by the time he does fight Canelo, it's easier to knock him out.
Yeah, of course. What else?
Well, we got a bunch of comments, so let's see.
In that case,
he said you and Punch are the only Andrade fans. That's all right. I'll be that. I'll be an Andrade fan.
I'm not a fan of Bull. Sorry.
Okay, ¿qué piensa de Terence Crawford? La pelea la próxima semana.
Okay, against Sean Porter.
Mm-hmm.
It would be nice. It would be nice because okay, Terence Crawford is skilled, but he 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 fought against anybody's. So he's in his prime, and Sean Porter has fought against the best: Danny Garcia, Jordan Isugas, Errol Spence. So Crawford in front of him has a problem,
Mm.
a completely problem, and I think okay, Crawford is skilled, and I think his punches are better than Sean Porter's punches, but it's in 147.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Crawford move up. So he has never fought against someone like with a puncher. For example, Sean Porter won against Danny Garcia, and Danny Garcia it's the best. So
We have a very different opinion of Danny Garcia.
Danny Garcia is a really good fighter.
Que- nah, nah, dog, nah. Danny gets points for effort. Like, Danny's okay, pero yo te voy a decir algo controversial. Controversial. Para mí, este muchacho, Jaron Boots Ennis, lo noquea. Virgil Ortiz, lo noquea. Terence Crawford, lo noquea. Danny gets points for losing because he lost to Sean. He lost to Keith. He
It was a
lost.
close fight.
He lost. He lost. He let Sean throw most of the punches. You like if you're gonna let the other guy throw most of the punches, you're losing, right? He lost the arrow. So lo que yo veo que Danny tiene, él tiene pelean, but he don't be winning them shits. Like when's the last time that Danny Garcia beat somebody solid?
I don't know. I don't think, for example, I don't think Virgil Ortiz is going to knock him out. No, Virgil Ortiz está muy prematuro todavía.
Yo te lo estoy diciendo, yo pongo 100 pesos que Virgil Ortiz no que ese muchacho, porque Virgil tiene pegada y tiene quijada. Danny tiene quijada, pero no tiene pegada.
¿Quién golpeó a Virgil Ortiz?
Mean Machine. Y ese tipo is a two-time Olympian. He comes from a very good amateur background. He dropped Terence Crawford.
What did you saw before? Amateurs is different to professionals.
Ok, yo no estoy... Okay, pero un momento. Yo estoy diciendo que es un muchacho, el Mean Machine, un muchacho que sabe cómo boxear, tiene experiencia en los amateurs y tiene pegada. No tiene quijada, pero tiene pegada, que él da duro. Para mí, Danny, he waits to see what the other guy is doing, and he tries to counter that. But because he doesn't have very fast hands, and he doesn't have very fast feet, he's always a step behind the other guy. He was a step behind Sean. He was a step behind Thurman, and he was a step behind Errol. Con Mean Machine va a ser la misma vaina, que tú estás esperando para ver lo que él va a hacer instead of you going out there and doing it yourself. So to me, yeah, I think Mean Machine would beat him. El hermano de David Benavidez, Jose, he would beat him. Danny is still living off of things that he did hace como 7 años, porque peleó con Amir Khan, porque peleó con Luca Matisse, pero eso hace mucho tiempo.
Okay, so we are. How old is Danny right now?
Ese tipo tiene
35?
como 35 años, tiene ese hombre.
Okay.
Lo noquea. Lo noquea.
For example, Virgil Ortiz is 23.
Yeah, he's young, very young.
Okay. What could if Danny Garcia is 23? Who won it? Who won? Virgil or Danny?
Okay, pero esas son cosas de la imaginación. We are here, and we. That's imagine we're here.
You're comparing an old boxer and a boxer who is que está golpeado, because Danny Garcia está golpeado.
Pero eso es lo que yo estoy diciendo, que el tipo está golpeado y si lo ponen a los dos en el cuadrilátero ahora, he'll knock him out.
Yeah, pero okay. Yes, but he's not a bad boxer. He's old, but he's not a bad boxer. He is
I don't
still
think
being
he's
dangerous.
okay. I don't think he's bad. I don't. I think he's overrated. I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's bad, but he's
Uh,
overrated.
he's currently on a step on the division. He's currently on a step. He is on the top of the division, yes, but he is just on a step.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's a gatekeeper. He's been a gatekeeper for years. Like I'm like, look. It's simple, right? It's simple. Jeff Horn, ¿verdad? Un ejemplo. Jeff Horn fought Manny Pacquiao, and they had a good fight between them. Never mind the outcome, they had a good fight. Like Jeff Horn gave Manny Pacquiao a better fight than Keith Thurman, right? So 2 fights later, who does he fight? Terrence Crawford. And what did Crawford do to him? He beat him easy. He beat him easy. Ahí es que se ve los niveles. Danny nada más
Yeah.
Danny sobrevive peleando con gente como Red Catch, peleando con gente como Granado, porque si tú lo pones ahí con alguien that could box, he's gonna lose. He's gonna lose. He lost to Thurman, lost to Porter, lost to Errol.
Okay. Okay. Could
Flojito,
be.
flojito Danny Garcia.
Could be. Could be. Where does he fight? It's a joke.
Nadie está viendo esa pelea, nadie está interesado.
Oh my god. He left me. Okay, I'm going to read the chat. Okay, he said
Yeah,
Conor Ben definitely beats Errol, but he struggles. Okay, Conor Ben is just a contender.
yeah,
Okay, not the best contender. Exist a lot of contenders on the division.
yeah.
Don't try to pressure him because you can look really, really well against a boxer who is smaller and not skilled like you. But to fight against someone like Errol Spence is completely dangerous to someone who is completely young, like Conor Ben or Virgil Ortiz. They are young. It is not necessary to pressure his careers because they are too young. They are 26, I think, and 23. So,
No, y ellos no van a pelear, eso es la otra cosa, porque hay mucha política en esa situación. El Conor Ben está con Matchroom, Errol está con PBC. Ellos no hacen negocio, esos dos. Ellos no hacen negocio. They don't make fights
no,
between each other. They really don't.
I just was answering something in the chat. That's the reason. And yes, promote their things they are not agree with each other, so they are not going to fight. But well,
¿Qué piensa del Errol Spence? Do you believe that Errol Spence Jr. is a pound for pound fighter?
no, I don't think so.
Ah, okay. Okay, we're settled. All right then. Tell me
I don't
why.
think so. Nadie le faltó el respeto todavía. Nadie lo molestó. Sean Porter did it, but oh my god, sorry, it was on a storm right here. Anybody could. Nadie lo pudo molestar todavía, ¿no? Es un peleador que he used his shove really good. He goes to the distance in the fights, so he haven't showed to everybody that I like to see blood on the fights. I like blood, and he haven't showed blood on all of his fights. He's a puncher, yes. He's a really good puncher. He has a really good jab, yes, but he has never been connected well.
I agree. I don't even think he's that big a puncher anymore. Yo me imagino que he spent too much time in the welterweight division so far. Y ya, it's taken something out of him, trying to make that weight over and over and over, because he debuted as a junior middleweight. He debuted above welterweight. So, todo esos años ahí en esa división, ya you don't belong there anymore. Con eso, el accidente, la vaina con el ojo, ese tipo está acabado para mí. Está acabado.
A mí me gustaría verlo against Brian Castaño.
Brian le da una salsa otra vez.
Brian
Otra
Castaño,
Otra vez le da una salsa because Brian beat him in the amateurs.
Yeah,
Brian
yeah.
beat him in the amateurs.
Brian beat Charlo, and Charlo is completely big, and Errol is not bigger than Charlo, and Brian is a boxer who likes to pressure his opponent. So I think a boxer who do something like that with Errol can beat him easily.
Te voy a decir, Brian le ganó a Lara. Eso no fue
Yeah,
empate, eso no fue empate.
yeah,
Él le ganó porque ya se sabe cómo una pelea se parece con Lara y cómo una pelea se parece con Brian. Y si la pelea se parece like a Brian Castaño fight, what does that mean? That means he's winning. That's what that means. Para mí eso no fue empate. Brian won a fight. Ahora con el Charlo, eso es diferente cosa. I understand that there's people that believe Brian won. I get it, but
of course,
I get it.
of course. But politics. O sea, Brian, this started when Brian fought against Michael Sora on Friends.
Yeah.
And if you saw si vos ves el fallo de esa pelea, lo estaban robando.
Sí,
Lo estaban robando. Filmaron las mesas porque estaban cambiando los puntajes.
sí.
Ahí empezó todo. Brian Castaño es el biggest upset in boxing because it's in the toppest level. He is completely dangerous. He can punch, he can box, and you can stop him. That's the reason.
Y la otra cosa es que ellos le jodieron el dinero a Brian. Yo leí la
Sí.
historia que ellos no querían. There was supposed to be a rematch. No querían la revancha because Brian wanted VADA testing. También en la primera pelea no le dieron su dinero hasta un mes. They waited a month to pay him for the fucking fight because they didn't have the funds in escrow. So ahead of the second fight, he told them, we'll put the money in escrow. That's one. And I want VADA testing. That's two. And they was like, nah, fuck that shit. No rematch. No rematch. So ahí se ve lo que estaba pasando.
Yeah. I don't know. Brian shocked at the war, and people from Argentina who shocked at the war is not está bien vista. Everybody saw that with El Chino Maidana.
Yo tengo una pregunta para ti, que tú estás en Argentina, la Jessica Tutti Bopp,
Sí.
¿ok? La Tutti Bopp con la Cenicia Estrada, ¿qué pasa ahí?
Bueno, Jessica tuvo un frustrado paso por el amateurismo, porque acá en Argentina no se dio el preolímpico por lo del COVID y se suspendió. So, todo ese tiempo ella she was inactive, and then she come back and she fought in super bantamweight division, and she lost against a completely big girl. So, really, really big girl and strong girl. And I don't think that fight should happen soon. But for example, if Jessica does many fights, then she can fight against Denise Estrada.
Yo voy a decir esto. Jessica, para mí, 37 años, ¿verdad? Perdió en el Super Bantamweight, pero ganó a la próxima pelea en Colombia con una niña que se llama Zuniga. Unbeaten girl, she was 16-0. She beat her. So, para mí, esa pelea tiene que pasar sooner than later, porque ya la Jessica tiene 37 años. The longer it takes, the more it favors the younger girl. Younger girl is Cenicia Estrada. So she needs to have that fight now.
That fight should happen 2 years ago.
De verdad, sí.
But yeah, because Jessica was in her prime. Okay, she's always had been on the toppest level. She is the number one. She's one of the number one in the world. But the pandemic and all of that thing that happened here in Argentina with the lockdown and all of that things shouldn't help her. And now she's 37, and anybody knows she's 10 years older than Zenisa, and that's
she's
too
very
much.
little. She's very little. That's even pa flyweight. She's very small. Like Jessica's smaller than everybody in that division.
Yes,
Smaller than
she
all of them.
is.
¿Qué piensa tú de Deborah Anaí López? Campeona WO
Oh,
de
Yes,
¿Tú-
yes, yes, yes.
¿Qué piensas de ella?
Flyway,
Yeah.
flyway. Uh, she's really. I like her style. She has a lot of timing. She has a perfect timing, but she haven't fought against someone who is in the topest level. For
Porque
example.
Arely Museño, yo sé que Arely Museño, que peleó esta noche on the undercard of this card, she fought. I don't know if Arely won, by the way. I have to check that because Arely fought Jackie Calvo. I believe she probably beat Jackie Calvo. I'm just guessing. But ¿cómo imagina? How do you imagine that fight would look between Arely Museño and Deborah Anaí Lopez?
Okay, I couldn't see the fight against Shaki Calvo, but it will be a nice match. I think Anaí Lopez is going to do that she always do, run, wait, and try to connect. And Arely Musino, if she wants to win, she should go to jump to her and punch her for any angles and all of the things because she is the way that you won against someone who is skilled than Anaí Lopez like that.
Sí, y el nombre de ella es la ametralladora for a reason. It's because she throws a lot of fucking punches. Let me read the super chat. Just subscribe to Boxing Dev. Loving the back and forth. Castaño is a
Thank
complete
you.
package. Inside, outside, box, brawl, he can do it. Also, tell everybody about your channel because we didn't mention it yet. Tell everybody about your
Oh,
channel.
okay. Thank you so much. Yes, I started to record to Boxing Dev a month ago. I'm completely new in this. I used to record something to many podcasts or things like that, but I decided to come here to YouTube. Okay, I talk about it in Spanish. I talk in Spanish, but I will try to record something or more content in English. And I don't know. I have many. ¿Cómo se dice invitados?
Invites. Invites.
I have many invites and friends, or I did many interviews. I will try to do more interviews because um, I have a lot of things to ask to kind of boxers or things like that, but it does all. My YouTube channel is called Boxing Dev, and everybody here is invited to follow me, to subscribe, to comment something. I don't know, everything,
Yeah, so
whatever they want.
I'm inviting all of y'all. Y'all can subscribe to Boxing Dev. She's got a channel right here on YouTube. She speaks English, she speaks Spanish. Y también eso es bueno que tú estás hablando con alguien que habla mucho inglés porque así fue que yo aprendí el inglés. Yo lo aprendí hablando because when I was born, I only spoke Spanish when I was a kid. I only
Sí,
spoke, pero con hablando con la gente y viendo televisión, ahí you pick up all the words that you need to know. So the more you do it, the better you get at it. Now
yeah.
we're gonna add some people to the chat and we're gonna watch this fight porque yo veo que se están matándose aquí on this Golden Boy card. Ellos se están matándose la poño.
Oh my god. Okay. Wait. And je parle un peu de français, so I speak French too.
El diablo, coño, habla tres idiomas la niña. Pues tú sabes, tú puedes hacer entrevista con la Maiva Hamadou.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying. I just it will be an honor to have her on my channel, but she's resting and all of the thing, and I don't want to bother her.
Yo me imagino que en este momento esa mujer tiene muchas opiniones de esa pelea.
Yeah.
Buenas noches, todo el mundo.
Um,
Buenas noches.
Buenas
Ok.
noches. Yo me tengo que retirar.
Permiso porque yo no hablo mucho español. Yo
Okay.
estoy aprendiendo. So, Julius, mi hermano dominicano, que lo que.
Aquí en lo mismo, viendo estos hombres matándose, fajándose.
Julius, after years of hanging out in Spanish Harlem, that's how my Spanish is. So,
I mean, your Spanish is not that bad, to be honest. I mean, hey, look, your Spanish is better than my French. How about that? It's better than my French, like.
Okay. Guys. I'm gonna let everybody go. No, I'm not saying. Well, I have to go away. Sorry.
All right, no problem. Everybody remember to subscribe to Boxing Dev. She does interviews. She does videos the same as me and everybody else. Subscribe to Boxing Dev.
Got
Thank
you.
you.
I did already.
Man.
Left you a message too.
Goodbye and have a good night. Okay.
Ciao, Elena.
You too. Take care.
Adios.
Okay, so I gotta ask you guys about the night of the upsets.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. What? Yo, dog, like, I felt bad, dog, because she got hit and she was stuck.
Dude.
Like, she was
Ring.
stuck. Like,
Terry
got
literally
paused
froze
in
in
time,
time. She got frozen time.
dog. And
Her legs knocked out on her feet.
That was
Listen,
hey, I just gotta say this. I gotta say this. Credit to that ref, man. He did the right thing. That was a brilliant
no,
stoppage.
he saved her, bro.
He said, dude, she'd have got seriously hurt had he
Yeah.
let that shit go on for like a second or two, man. Like, credit to
He
that
said-
guy, man. He
like-
deserves
like,
props. He should
it's
get